Hey, it's Allie and welcome to December Daily, day 7 for 2020. Today I am going to pair a page with this December die cut. Again, this is part of the product play workshop where I talked about playing with texture there. That's how that die cut got initially created. Yesterday, just a brief review here, yesterday I did the page about my parents, the 50 years and 500 lights. So I've got that there. And then I had this one set up for today. Really, the rest of the pages that I have, I think there's only a couple of them where I have a specific date established. So you'll likely see me moving things around. I know I have a little booklet coming up for day 9, but other than that, I have the freedom to move things around depending on what story I want to tell. And to be honest, I really wasn't sure about the story I was going to tell for today. Some days I have a more specific idea in mind, or I thought about something the day before. Today I wasn't sure. I sat down at my desk, I started doing some of my other work that I do in addition to this project. And I decided that I wanted to do a page, a no photo page, that is going to use the prompt December is. And we're going to use this as basically, it's kind of just like the intro to it. So this will be in here. And then my next page will likely be, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do, a piece of cardstock, probably sized about to the same width so that this will sit on top of it. And then I'm going to use my stamps to stamp the entire page of journaling. I've done this kind of thing before in the past using some different stamps. I love the stamp set that we offered this year. I think it's out of stock right now. This is probably one though, if you hit the notify me button, it's one that we will potentially have come back in stock. But I'm just going to stamp out December is this, December is this, December is, because this morning I was thinking about all of the different things that December is to me. One of them is having a pretty heavy workload. Another one though is, especially right now, is lots of time at home, which can be both positive and negative for all of us in lots of different ways. I'm somebody that can easily just stay at home and not even leave the house for a while. And so thinking about the combination of all those kinds of things, plus the magic and the ways that we are celebrating December, that is going to be my page for today. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock, get myself set up, pick out some inks that I want to use, and then I'll share from there. All right, so there's lots of different ways that you can approach this one. You may not want to do big stamping all over the page. And obviously you kind of see it's going to take up, just even stamping December on here is going to take up a lot. So I'm going to think a little bit. I have a couple different ideas of thinking, you know, maybe it's going to go over the entire thing. Maybe it's going to just be December is, and then I'm going to journal underneath. I'm going to stamp out the first December, and then we'll see from there. A couple other things, a couple ways that you can adapt this for yourself. I'm also going to put this along the edge. I think that looked cool when I had that laying on there. If you don't have stamps or alphabet stamps, or you don't want to stamp, which I totally get, you can type this up and print it out, right? You could do that. You could run it through a laser printer and use a Mink machine and have it be foiled. It looks like my page ended up being about just about 6 by 8. That's going to live behind there, and then most likely I'll probably have a full page photo or something on the other side tomorrow. But like I said, you could print it out, you could just handwrite all over it. You could paint it and then you could handwrite it. Like, there's lots of different things that you could do. I could also paint this and then stamp on top of it, but I'm going to just leave it white and let the stamping do most of the work here. The main thing I need to decide, I think I'm going to do it in red. I'm going to pull a green out just to keep that in mind as well. It could also just be in black or black and white. I think I'm going to let's start with the red and see how that feels, and then we'll move on from there. So I know some people with the stamps like to put out the entire word, and that's definitely something that I could do, or at least a good portion of it on here. A lot of times I do it individually though, because I like having more control over where the letters are placed, and I can squish them together more. When you lay out all the letters on something like this, it's harder to squish them together because a lot of them have even just that tiniest little bit of an edge behind them that makes them stable overall. Can make it so that you can't squish them together as far. So let's just dive in here, and I am going for, with stamping, I am not a precise stamper, and I'm never really looking for precision in my stamping. It's just not an expectation that I go, or that I approach these projects with at all. So for me, it's kind of, let's see what I get. You can see that I'm going over the edge a little bit on there, and I need some new wipes to wipe these off. You can also always just stamp off your stamps. That's another option. Sometimes that can create some really fun patterns. Often I just use baby wipes to wipe them off, but it's really up to you. So December is the prompt that I'm using. Let's see how this, what I get here. Yeah. So it's very bold, obviously the red, but it'll be fun. And now I need to not talk, but I make sure that I spell things right. Okay, now that I can see that obviously it's going to take up a vast majority of the width there of the page, I probably am just going to think of a couple highlights. You know, December is blah, 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 December is blah, 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 and just do it a couple times on here and have it wrap around. And then I may, depending on how much I'm actually able to get on here, I may come back and add some journaling strips on top that could actually spell out more of the words that I want to go on here, that I want to have on here. So I'm just going to start December is and then add in what I want to say. Where I'm at right now in this process. I went ahead and printed or typed up journaling. So we're using the December is as my jumping off point for my prompt. And then I printed on a couple different things. You can always print on one of the journal cards. You can handwrite on one of the journal cards. That's super simple and easy to do. I wanted a little bit more space, so I went ahead and am printing this or printed it on a couple things. One, this is the leftover paper, the stamping off paper. It has a fun textured pattern there. So I'm considering using that. I also printed another one that was on some papers that I had created with the jelly plate for product play. So I had a little bit of that just to kind of see like what did it look like if I added in the green there. And I still like that one as well, it could totally work. But then I also just have a simple, clean, white version, and the pocket here is one of the 3x4 pockets that I trimmed down just a little bit to be able to have it coming up out of the top. And then I think I'm going to just add this piece from the main kit, the pleather little puffy sticker there. Pleather, puffy, it's a pleather sticker on top. I still am planning on adding this guy over here along the edge. I might actually just stitch that in place, have it come over just a tiny bit. I'm not sure. I kind of want it sitting right on the edge even with the white, so I got to figure out a way. I can probably tape it on the back and then run it through the sewing machine right there to have another little bit of extra stuff, a little extra texture. So I think what I'm going to do is go with the white. I still like the red. Here, I'll show you what the red looks like in there. I still like that too, and it kind of melds in with the merges in with the rest, but I think I'm just going to go with the white though. But I wanted you to see, you know, being able to play with paint or other textures, or even just the extra stamping is a really fun way to create textures that you can work with as well. So also, I think I'm going to add a tab to the top, just one of these little tabs here onto the top that again shows that it is something that can be pulled out of the backing. And then I'll use red line tape again, just like I did for the other pocket that I added on there previously. And then on the back, I might find a picture that I can add to the back of this one that's just kind of a basic picture from this month, maybe another decor picture, something similar to what I included in the beginning. So let's go ahead and adhere that down on the back there, here in the pocket, onto that stamped background. And then I also pulled out these chipboard stars that I think I might add like 3 of them on there. A couple other things I thought about too. One, I considered, and I still might do this, doing the same kind of stamping on the back of here. And obviously it's going to be messy because there's lots of paint and, you know, textured pieces that are already on the back here. But I think it might be kind of fun to merge into this. And if you do it, one thing you could do is you could have it go all the way across, right? Across both pages there. That's another option that could easily come together if you wanted to do that in advance. So that would be fun. I think I might do it just with some, maybe like a really light color, or maybe a light, see if I have like a light green. I'm just doing 2 pieces of adhesive on the back, the red line tape, to adhere this pocket on top. Again, if you don't want to be using any plastic at all, you could just add your journaling card right onto the middle of there, but I want to have, I want a pocket, and actually I want to put this inside so I can see where the whole thing sits on the page. So probably about, maybe down just a little. In that area, it's going to be just fine. So that works. I did say I was going to do a no photo page, so this could easily be a no photo page for you. I think that I will add a photo onto the back, but it's another way that you can see that you don't have to. I'm going to add this on top, which makes it so that you do need to pull the journaling out to read it, but I'm fine with that too. So I like the kind of mix of these vertical elements there. All right, so we've got that. That's all in place. I'm going to see if I can stitch that on the sewing machine. I want it to be right in that spot, so when you see through to that back page, that's what you see. Okay, I love how that turned out, the stitching on there. That is super fun. One of the things I was wondering is if on the back here, I think probably what'll end up happening is whatever photo I use on this back side, I'll end up trimming around there, because I don't think that these other ones are actually, woo! Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside, this one aside for tomorrow. Obviously it didn't get stitched in place. If I was really thinking ahead, I would have done that, but I might have extra stitching. So I'm gonna leave that out on my table for tomorrow for a potential of using that as well. Let's see. Okay, so I think, like I said, I am going to add in a photo here and then add some of these chipboard pieces on top. So my photo, I'm just going to print out 3x4. See what I got over there. All right, so I just printed out a quick 3x4, a close-up of one of the poinsettias that I have here at the house. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that right on the back. Again, if you want it to be a no photo page, it can totally be that. Or you may have some other special photo that you want to add on to the back there. Or you could have more journaling too, right? It kind of just depends on what you need for your own story today. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in there, and then I'm gonna add on a couple of these chipboard stars, just because I think that they're kind of fun and they can go around here. Probably do like 3. And then I think I am going to play around with stamping on the back. Let's see, yeah, be like on top of the eye. That's kind of fun. I wonder if I could do that on, just look at the other eyes are just like 3 around the page like that. That feels good. Okay, so I think I am gonna stamp on the back over here of this page. So that's gonna take me a few minutes to get that set up and run through that, and then I'll just be wrapping this one up. Really fun. I love the stamped background. For those of you guys that were in product play or you've looked at Laura Wansick's pages this year, I know that she has one excuse me, that she did that's stamped in yellow and looks really awesome. I think it went with a page that she had tree lights on it. So definitely a fun way to utilize those stamps. I'm excited just to have those in my collection of stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I think I want to test out, I might want to have just really a light version, and so I have this St. Helens color here. I'm going to move this out of the way so that I don't mess that one up there. But let's see what happens just on the back. For those of you that might want to play out this idea, grab some scratch paper here. You could easily do the red, but I don't think that I want to do the red all the way across. Just see what, this is St. Helens is what this particular color is, and it's a really light one. Yeah, okay, and it actually goes well with the paint that I used on there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next here, or for the last thing with this page, is doing the stamping on the back here. I'm totally glad I took the time to do that. I really like how the end result looks with having something specific on the back of that die cut. And as you saw there in the video, I did transition to using as many letters as I could and then replacing the E's, just trying to speed up the process a little bit. Definitely glad I didn't do it on the first portion where I was adding in some other words, but because I just did December on the other side there, it made sense to me to repeat or to put the stamps down on the block and then stamp it that way. So you guys saw that already. Last up, I am just adding some of the white chipboard stars onto the back of the die cut there. Those go along with the stars on the other page. I really like how this one turned out. I always, anytime I do background stamping, especially background word-based stamping like this, it's just a look that I always like, and I'm always happy when it's done. And I really just am a huge fan of typography in general. And so I think that goes along with that as well. Super happy to get this one in the album. And let me know if you guys have any questions on this one. I'm happy to answer them. And otherwise, we'll see you back here again tomorrow.